Check one, two, check one, two. Hello, everybody. I am back. And if you can, let me just make sure that I can hear myself since I don't know if I can hear myself or not. Hello, everybody. I am back. All right. I can hear myself. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. As you can see by the show title, The Real Science of Superman. This is a very maybe not well put together show, but it's therapeutic for me, and I enjoy doing these shows. And I am a big Superman fan. I had the opportunity. What really prompted me to do this show tonight was it's actually not my fascination with Superman, but my fascination with the science behind Superman's powers and how that is actually kind of tied in, or can be tied in, or theoretically can be tied in to real life. And I want to talk about that. Just maybe we'll look at it as an overview of things to just make you go, the possibilities. So, but before we get into that, I did have the opportunity to see the new Superman movie, and let's see here. See if I can get this going. Yeah, there we go. Got the opportunity to see the new Superman movie, and of course, you see the three Supermen up on the main screen. These are the Supermen that I'm familiar with. Christopher Reeve, which is I'm sorry, you probably want to hear a dog barking. Give me 1 second while I'm going to close the window. 1 second. I apologize for that. Shouldn't happen while I'm on live, but I apologize. So, Christopher Reeve, the character that I grew up with back in the 70s. Yes, I'm dating myself. Back in 1978, and we saw the very first Superman in modern times fly. And yes, Christopher Reeve did fly. RP to Christopher Reeve. And then from there was we had a few Superman shows that come out during the 80s and the early 2000s, and then somewhere towards the middle 2000s, Henry Cavill, his Superman came out, and I believe it was 2013. And this is the Zack Snyder Superman, and I really, really have a tremendous amount of respect for what Zack Snyder did to the Henry Cavill Superman. And to me, and again, this is just my thoughts about the three current Superman is, Christopher Reeve being the original, so nothing can, not the original, but the modern day original. Henry Cavill under Zack Snyder, his character was a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more relatable. His Superman outfit was more like a non-outfit, but more like this is what we wore back on my home planet. This is everyday clothes. I happen to have a cape, and I happen to have the S that symbolizes hope. This is what I wear. And in the movie, his father, played by Russell Crowe, actually had the S on his chest as well. So that was standard clothing. And then, so I was able to really relate to the Henry Cavill, Zack Snyder produced Superman. I really liked this character. It was a little bit more, in my opinion, realistic, down to earth, a little gritty, a little kind of grimy, but still with a really good heart, very passionate heart. The new Superman under David Cornsweet, I really liked the movie that I saw, and I've seen the movie 3 times already. And to me, in my opinion, he is sort of like a James Gunn, directed by James Gunn. He is a cross, I would say, between Christopher Reeve, um, by the look of his outfit, and Henry Cavill. He's just sort of a cross between those two. So if you take Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve and just put him in the middle and mesh them together, I see him in that character. The character that he plays in the movie, without giving out any spoilers, he's 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 quirky. He's a little bit, he's very lively, kind of joking, a joking type of character, but he's also serious and very passionate at the same time. So he's not, it's not over the top silly, but it's not over the top serious. It's kind of like the sweet spot in the middle. So I think that if you're a big Superman fan, you would really get enjoyment out of viewing the character. The CGI in the movie, honestly, I like the Zack Snyder CGI a lot better. Again, it's a little bit darker, a little bit more realistic looking, but there is definitely a lot of CGI in the movie. But I think that you should definitely go and see the movie. But let's get back to the main subject here. The main subject is, well, Superman says that he gets his power from the sun, the yellow sun, which is how how the character was developed. But that's not really how he's powered. That's not really, the sun is not really what gives him his power. It's kind of like a battery powers something, and you stick it into a charger, and the electricity recharges it. So the sun is kind of like the recharger for his powers, but his powers is actually derived from the gravity of our planet. His powers are, he's able to manipulate the gravity of our planet, because the gravity on his home planet is about 10 times, let's see, let's go, it's about 10 times that of Earth. So when you see, and again, this is via what the comics say. It could be anywhere between 4 to 10 times, and then some comics say it's even more. I would beg to differ, based on the powers that we see that he uses, that it would be a little bit more than 10 times that of gravity. But gravity is the key factor. Now, the key is this. Well, um, I wanted to do just a little bit of research, but I knew that this was going to be a very quick show. So I tapped into my old friend ChatGPT, or DeepSeek, and I simply went to DeepSeek and I typed this in. Okay, I typed in, if I was born and raised on a planet that had 10 times, 20 times, a million times the gravity of Earth, how strong would I be? Believe it or not, DeepSeek gave me all the answers that I was looking for. So a lot of these figures came from DeepSeek, and it kind of just brought things into perspective. So by being able to take advantage of the gravitational influence of a planet, you're able to manipulate, how speed, how your body actually assimilates to that area, of wherever you're landing. So it's the Earth. But let's just say, for example, he was born again in the comics on Krypton, and he's 10 times as strong. Of course, he would be able to lift heavy objects. Objects that are heavy to us would be like nothing to him. So according to the figures here, and these are figures that I got off DeepSeek, theoretically he would be able to lift. This is as compared to a normal person. He would be able to lift, if the gravity on Krypton was 10 times that of Earth, he would actually be able to lift 16.5 tons. Um, and he would be able to run upwards of 110 miles per hour. Now, And of course, there's a vertical jump, and his vertical jump would be that of 16 feet. Now, I don't believe these factors are true because in the movie, clearly he's jumping a little bit higher than 16 feet. So I believe that the gravitational strength on Krypton is a lot more than 10 times that of Earth. Also, you can also see that in this picture, he is actually creating his own orbit. So this is what gravity does. We have on the planet Earth and all the other planets in the solar system and elsewhere throughout the universe, they have moons. They attract objects, and these objects get caught up in the gravitational forces of a planet. So he's even strong enough to create his own gravitational field while getting ready to take off here. So to me, that would be more than 10 times that gravity of Earth. But let's keep going here. So knowing that, let's take a deeper dive into something other than Krypton. Okay, so we talk about Krypton, but let's talk about some theoretical and possibly real life scenarios where you may have superhuman strength if you were from this particular type of planet. So let's just go through the science a little bit. Okay, in the movie Interstellar, I hope everyone saw this movie. It's not a Superman movie. It's more of a science fiction type of movie that came out a few years ago. But it dealt with gravity. It dealt with relativity. It dealt with gravity. It dealt with black holes, and it dealt with space travel. And it also dealt with time dilation and so forth. But hypothetically, let's say these travelers, as depicted in the movie, they did travel to um, this planet. We're calling it Miller's planet. And this planet, it actually um, Miller's planet actually was in orbit just outside the event horizon of a black hole called Gargantua. Now, Gargantua is a black hole, and with tremendous gravitational forces. And because the planet was just right outside the event horizon, it didn't suck it into the black hole, but it was able to manipulate the gravitational field on that planet. So Miller's planet's gravity was 130 times stronger than that of Earth, which means that the gravity is 1.3 times that of Earth. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that it goes back to the Krypton theory. If you were from Miller's planet, if I was born and raised on Miller's planet, like I was born and raised on Earth, I would have 30%. I would have 30% strength increase if I was to be born on Miller's planet and come back to Earth. I would be 30 times stronger. I mean, I would have 30% more strength than the average human on this planet. Now they're saying that over time, as your body reacclimates to the environment, I would be further reduced to 20%. But you would come back. I would be, if I'm from Miller's planet, I would be 30% stronger than the average human. So that means that I would have some, superior muscle mass. I would have uh, I would be significantly stronger, of course. And let's take a look. My skeletal system, of course, 30 to 40% denser than that of a regular human walking around. Fracture resistant. My fracture resistance would be dramatically improved. Of course, I would enhanced shock absorption capacity, which probably means I could jump a lot higher than the average human. And there would be a slower age related to bone loss. Let's talk about my cardiovascular health. If I was from Miller's planet, I would have my heart muscles would be 25% thicker. Increased stroke volume, I believe that would just be how the heart actually beats, pumps oxygen. Enhanced oxygen delivery, superior blood pressure regulation. On Earth, I would be that of an elite athlete with good stamina, fast recovery times. Sounds kind of like a super soldier, like Captain America, I would think. Wink, wink. So I would have that exceptional endurance and reduced fatigue. I would be a super soldier. If I was from Miller's Planet, I would be the equivalent of a Captain America. I wonder how the writers, Stan Lee and some of these writers, created these superhero characters. They must have studied science when they were creating these comics, because this kind of brings us back to um, it brings us back to all science, and this is not make believe science, because out of the millions and trillions of planets there in the universe, in the galaxy alone, there are probably about a million planets just like Miller's planet that may have life. That they could be, it could be humanoid life. We don't know, but it's not fantasy. It can happen. It's there. It theoretically could happen, or it could already be happening, and we just don't know about it because it's too advanced for us, for our understanding right now at this point. But it's more than science fiction. I could say that. Let's keep going here. So, with that being said, if I was from Miller's Planet, of course, I would have enhanced vision, hyper responsive reflexes, and things like that. So I would be a super soldier. Let's take it one step further. We're going to bring it a little bit closer to home. Okay. Let's so some of the quick takeaways, we kind of talked about this with physical strength and things like that. Let's take it one step further. We're going to talk about a planet that's in our own solar system. We're going to talk about Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is a gas planet. It doesn't really have a surface. If you can't really stand on the surface of Jupiter, you would fall through. But this planet is so big, its gravitational influence affects all of us, including the planet Earth, and other planets that are in our solar system, because it's so big. So, other than the sun playing a big influence on how the planets move around the solar system, Jupiter plays an intricate role in that as well, because of its enormous gravitational pull. So, theoretically, or not, if a life form was born and raised on Jupiter and they came to Earth, they would be 2.5 times, 2.5 times stronger, because the gravity is 2.5 times that of Earth. The gravity on Jupiter is 2.5 times that of Earth, meaning that you would be 5 to 8 times stronger than the average adult. 5 to 8 times stronger than the average adult if you were from the planet Jupiter. So if you came to if you came from Jupiter to Earth, you would be another super soldier, another super villain. And it says that you would have the capacity to lift over 1,000 pounds, which is similar to a small car. So just imagine being from Jupiter and having the ability to lift up a car seamlessly with no problem. Of course, your body would be adapted to the extreme gravitational conditions from Jupiter. So you would have ultra dense bone structure, massive um, muscular skeletal development there, with the powerful cardiovascular system, and you would definitely be a tough customer if you were from Jupiter. So that's something to think about. Again, we're still trying to understand all the facts of the universe, and understand how things operate in the universe. It's just a vast area. So it is not outside the realm of our understanding to really ponder the fact that there's other life out there. And if there's other life out there, and they're from these enormous planets, and we know that gravity plays an influence on every moving object in the universe, then it's very easy to assume that whatever life forms that we may encounter in the future, um, would be considerably stronger than the average human here on Earth. Um, you know, there's your, hence Superman. So there's definitely science to Superman. So we're going to take things a little bit more extreme because this is one of the questions that I wanted to ask um, DeepSeek, my AI companion, through this, and I said, what if you were from a planet that had a gravitational pull a million times that of Earth, a million times that of Earth? So if you were from a planet, and that's conceivable that there are planets out there in this vast universe that had gravitational pulls. We know that a black hole, what is far past that, a million times that of Earth. But so it's very conceivable to understand that, or to assume that there are planets out there that are so big that they have a gravitational pull a million times that of Earth. And let's just say this is one of the planets that Superman came from, because Superman, he's been known to run fairly close to the speed of light, travel fairly close to the speed of light. He is um, just tolerant to so many things: heat, ice, cold. I mean, everything. Even the atmospheric pressures from outer space. So I would probably think that Krypton probably had a very, very, maybe not a million times that, but maybe somewhere close to that. So calculating your strength on Earth, if you had, if you were from a planet with a gravitational pull, a gravitational force, a million times that. At the very bottom, there's a formula here that, thank you, DeepSeek, for figuring this out for me. It says that you could lift 70,000 metric tons on Earth if you were from a planet that had a gravitational pull, a gravitational force 1 million times that you could lift I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to be mind blowing. You can lift 70,000 times tons on Earth. What does that mean? What does that equate to? Well, I think there may be some some Marvel characters or some DC characters that could probably do this. But let's take a look at it. In real world comparison, you could lift 389 blue whales all at once. You could lift 7 Eiffel Towers all at once. You could lift 35 space shuttles all at once. I don't know if Superman can do all that or not, but there may be some beings out there in the universe that are from planets with a million times that of Earth. Can you imagine if they came to Earth? We could only imagine how powerful they would be. These are some incredible figures. On Earth, it says each step could launch you skyward without precise force modulation. So basically, one little small step could launch you right into space. That kind of went back to Superman, because he's able to manipulate um, gravity by jumps and flying. So, maybe Superman is close to that. Who knows? It says picking up a pencil might crush it. Your fine motor skills are calibrated for extreme gravity. Of course it is. So basically, you would have to handle everything as if though you were holding a feather. So these are just so. This is more. This is more than fantasy. It's more than um, you know things that we can imagine in our dreams. These planets could actually be existing in our vast, so not so well vast galaxy. We have millions of planets just in our galaxy alone. So not to mention the whole of the universe. So I really, some of the key takeaways here would be Of course, you can lift objects 1 million times that of the mass on Earth. Your immense strength would demand extraordinary control to avoid damage. No kidding. Your body would represent ultimate adaptation to extreme gravitational forces. Yes, I believe all of that. So I definitely I wanted to share this little presentation with you based on the movie that I saw, and it says you will believe a man can fly. Well, in real life, it's a possibility. So with that, I'm gonna call it a night. And again, this is a very quick show, and I look forward to producing more of these shows and bringing you more entertainment in the near future. I want everyone to have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.